Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we continue our video series on packet tracer. So today what we're going to do is we're going to provision this separate all these VLANs with dynamic IP addresses coming from a remote server, because we said we don't want to provision it from this router. Okay, we want to provide provision from a remote server. Because the previous lecture we had the DHCP provision from the router, and now it's going to be a remote server. So let's I just made some changes here. I added different colors for separate VLAN just to make it give it more clarity. These ports have already been configured to as access ports. Okay, if we go into the switch, run. So port 01, 03 and 02 have all been configured as access ports. So for VLAN 10 on 01, VLAN 20 on 02, and VLAN 30 on 03. Okay, and the 04 is the trunk port that leads to the router. Okay, so on the router itself is also configured already. If we go in there, CLF note and show run. So the router is already configured with sub interfaces, and this interface is set to not shut. Okay, so that's always up, so that the sub interfaces itself should always be up. Okay, and I went ahead and configured IP helper address for VLAN 1, which is going to be used on the other side. Okay, on the because we're going to connect a server here, some servers here, so we're going to use another port on the router. So let's go ahead at those servers. We're going to start with two servers, just the DNS and the DHCP. I'm going to call this DHCP server. We'll give it an IP address 192.168.1.2. Let's give it a 1.2 IP address. Call this one DNS server. Okay, 1.3. So for now, we'll just work with these two servers. If we have time, we can add two more servers. Okay, so so now we need a switch. We need a switch here. We need a PC as well. Let's put a PC first, because the PC is going to be like our lab, where we can first be sure that everything is working here before enabling DHCP on the other side of the router. So let's connect them all together with a switch. From the router, here, fastnet 01. Okay, so first things first, let's set our default gateway on the switch, on the router. Sorry, set our default gateway, which is going to be the fastnet 01 is going to be our default gateway for all devices on the other side. So it's going to be 1.1, okay, on this port. So configure terminal interface fastnet 001. Not sure. IP address 192.168.1.1. Okay, that's it. Let's save that. Okay, now let's configure let's start the DNS. Let's just go in there. put in an IP address for the DNS. It's going to be 1.3. Let's see if I copy. Oh, sorry. I thought I copied something. Okay, 192.168.1.3. Let me copy that one out. And the default gateway is .1 and DNS.3. Okay, then we can just go straight to services for DNS. Enable DNS. Set it to on. Okay, go out of there. Go to DHCP. On DHCP, we have to create 4 pools. 4 pools of DHCP. Okay, so one pool is going to be for the subnet 192.168.1.1, which is the for VLAN 1, and then another pool for VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 30. Okay, so we have 4 pools to create here. But the first thing we have to create, put in an IP address in there. So it's going to be .2. Default gateway is .1. DNS server doesn't change, .3. And now let's go straight away to the services. Okay, and we enable the DHCP here. Okay, so we need 4 pools. Let's call first pool pool 1, which is for the first for all devices on this subnet. So it's going to be pool 1. Let's call it pool 1. Default gateway .1. DNS doesn't change, .3. Now the first IP on that pool, okay, the first IP on that pool, let's say the first IP we want it to be 20. Okay. Everything else is the same, we don't change anything. Okay, so make sure the service is enabled, DHCP is enabled. So let's add, double check. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for pool for VLAN 10, 20, and 30. I'm going to do that one faster without commenting. So here we say 10. Alright, so we added the 4 pools. The 4 pools are all added, and the DHCP is enabled. So let's close out of here or there, and we could actually do a test. Okay, just come in here and go to IP. Okay, now it's set on static. Let's see if it receives any IP address. Okay, fair enough, it receives an IP address. Okay, and we could also test if it can ping the gateway. Okay, because the gateway IP there is showing like 0000, which is, I know it's just packet tracer. So let's try to see if we can ping the gateway, which is 19. Okay, ping 192.168.1.1. So it's pinging. Okay, so we don't have to worry about what the packet tracer is showing there. So now for DHCP set, but on the router we need to set configure IP helper addresses. Okay, the IP helper address on the router, what does it do? It tells all these VLANs that if you're looking for DHCP server, that's where you have to go. Okay, so it's going to basically point back to this server here. So if you go in there in the configuration mode, CLI mode, sorry, and then go configure, show run first of all. So if you do show run here, we see on each of these sub interface we have to add IP helper address. We're going to add IP helper address for each of these sub interfaces. We're going to add this same IP helper address but for the sub interfaces. So I had a cheat sheet here where I basically had it done already, and I'm just going to remove this one. We don't need this one anymore, it's already there. So yeah, just going to copy this, copy this one out, and go into the configuration mode, or just paste since we have configure T here. So I'm just going to paste, okay, and then we double check, show run. Okay, so you see for every single sub interface we configured as IP helper address that points to the DHCP server, okay, and also on the VLAN one, okay, we also have this here. So what that means is that actually right now this PC should be able to get IP address from the server. Okay, so let's test it out. If we go into this PC, okay, because we're going to this PC, we just go to IP address instead of static. I'm going to go DHCP. Let's see if what goes. Okay, fair enough. We got an IP address. That's good. And you got you could see the default gateway, DNS server. Okay, so let's do the same thing for this guy. Go here, DHCP. Yeah, picked up an IP address. Okay, pick up. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna try to see if we can do a full mesh ping, okay, from this VLAN to all the other VLANs. Okay, so this one is going to be 20.10.10. Okay, oh, it's going to be 20.20 and 30.20. So I'm going to go in here and ping ping 192.168.20.20. Okay, I'm trying to ping this guy. From this guy I'm trying to ping him. Okay, responding. Then for VLAN 30.20. Alright, so that one's too is responding. So we can, from here we can ping this guy and this guy. So the DHCP is working perfectly. Okay, and also to test the DNS. To test the DNS, we could just go in here, go to the browser. Packet tracer, you have to be a little bit patient sometimes. Okay, so I didn't set any. No, we cannot test the DNS now. We can't test it, but I didn't add any A record. So the only way we can test now and just be sure that the DNS is working, just go into here and do NS lookup. NS lookup. Okay, so the server name, we didn't give a name, so it's giving the same IP, and the server IP address is the one we gave. So it's the server is there, so which means if we had a DNS, if we had an A name like maybe, I don't know, gmail.com, it should be able to resolve. Okay, if we had an A name, we don't have an A name, so it's not going to resolve that. So DNS is working, and what we're going to do right now is going to add a few more servers. Okay, we're going to add a mail server and an FTP server and a mail server. Okay, so let's add 2 more servers here. let's call this one mail server, or I'm just calling mail server, or email. Okay, just put it email, and this one is going to be FTP server. And for this one, let's give it an IP address of 192.168.1.4. And for this one, let's give it an IP address of .5. Let's configure them. So in here, desktop IP configuration, it's .5. It's saying invalid IP address. What was it? Why invalid? 192.168.1.5. Okay, I don't know what I typed it. Anyways, so the gateway .1, DNS server is .3. Okay, that's good. By the way, we could just set up the service at once. So go to services, go to FTP. Okay, so FTP is already enabled. That's good. We could just basically test it with this record. Okay, there's a record here. We could add another one as well. Let's add our own record. Let's add a new record there. Let's call him user 1. Password Cisco123. Okay. Add. Okay, so we have one record here. Add another one. User 10. Cisco123. All right. Okay, we need to select the permissions. So say we can the user can write, can read, can delete, can rename all the permissions. Okay, so we add. Let's see the permissions we gave to this guy. Okay, so we have 3 users. We don't have to waste time on this one. So the service enabled. We have 3 users. We have Cisco, user 1, and user 10. Okay. So let's close out of there, and email server. So the email server, we're going to put, first we start with an IP address. Give an IP address of 192.168.1.4. Gateway is 1.1, and DNS service 1.3. Okay, and yeah, that's for email, the email server. Then let's go to services, and we'll go to email. Okay, and it's already the service enabled, but we don't have any records. So let's say our email's domain is going to be gmail.com. okay, that's the domain we're going to use. Okay, put it to set. Now we're going to add users. Okay, who are going to be the users? We have let's say we want user 1. Okay, and we'll give him an IP address of give him a password of Cisco123. Okay, and then add the user 10, IP address of Cisco123, add the user 20, password Cisco 1.3, Cisco 123, add the user 30, Cisco 123, add the user. So we added 4 users here. Okay, user 1, user 1, user 10, user 20, user 30. Okay, so basically what we want to do is that for each of these PCs, we have 4 PCs here. We're going to configure user 1 to be here. We're going to configure user 10 to be here, user 20 here, user 40, user 30 here. Okay, so that's added. What else do we need to do here? Domain is set. That's good. So we can close out of here. Okay, and before anything else, let's make sure those servers are connected. Okay, they're connected now, and we have to set those users. Let's start with this guy. Let's let's set him as user 1. Okay, so we'll go into emails here. We'll say his name is user 1. His address is user1 at gmail.com. Incoming server is gmail.com. Outgoing server gmail.com, and the user is user 1. Password Cisco 123. Okay, and make sure everything is good. Everything's good. We save. So it's all done for this user 1. Okay, there's just one little thing I need to add here just before continuing. We have to add an A record for the email. Okay, go in here to DNS, because the problem is if somebody's typed an email and said my email is user1gmail.com, so who knows how to get to gmail.com if we don't add an A record? Okay, so we'll go here, go to DNS enable. We need to add an A record called gmail.com, and we're going to give this IP address. Okay, 192.168.1.4, and make sure everything's good. Add it. Okay, gmail.com. So now on the server's end, this is all done. This guy is also ready, but these other guys, they don't have any account to send emails. Okay, so I'm going to add just like I added here. I'm going to add a record for each one of these VLANs. Okay, so I'm going to come to this PC that then do exactly the same thing. I'm going to do it a little bit faster. So this one is going to be so the password, make sure the password is right here, because the password is the one we set on the server, Cisco 123. You cannot see it here, it's grayed. So I'm going to save that one out. Done. From here. Just double check everything is good. We save that out. Go out of there. Do the last one. I wasn't too sure about the password here. Alright, so 64123, save. Okay, so now what we have to do is test it. Okay, now everything is set up, just test. We don't know if email server is working, we don't know FTP is working, we don't know none of that. Okay, so how do we test? Let's go to this VLAN 10. We're going to click in there, and first of all make sure that we can ping all these IPs. Okay, we can ping the servers. Let's go in here and try to see if we can ping them. Oh, quit. I need to quit this one. Oh, exit. All right, exit works. Ping 192.168.1.2 is the DHCP server. That works. Of course, it works because we already could get IP address from there. DNS server responding. Email server .4. Email server responding or not? Why is not responding? Alright, email server is not responding for some reason. That's not a good sign. Ping again. Email server is not responding. Let me check about the FTP.5. Okay, .5 is responding. So there's absolutely no reason why the email server will not respond. It doesn't respond, but we could test it in a different way. We could just go in here, open up the browser, put gmail.com and see if we can let me come here. If I say gmail.com, go. Let me test with an IP address 192.168.1.4. Not responding. Let's just double check quickly the configurations. I think everything should be good here. Enable, show run. Okay, everything is set up right here. Okay, FTP is responding. This one is not responding. Let's see why. If you go in here, okay, right. This is our DNS server. Okay, that's right. The services. So this is email server. So if you go to email, it's on. Okay, Gmail is set. Everything is set, right? This is not enabled. That's good. And if you go into DNS, we set an A record. We set an A record there, pointing to the .4, which is correct. And DNS also enabled here. And what's the IP address here? Yeah, everything's set up right there. let's do something. We're just going to do a test. We're going to do it because from configuration wise everything looks good, but we're going to do a test to see just if the email is able to respond. Okay, so I'm going to do a simulation. I'm going to put in simulation mode, and let's say this guy is sending email to this other guy. Okay, so let's go in there and say it wants to send an email to the other. Okay, so we're going to say compose. So from VLAN 10 we want to send an email to VLAN 1. Okay, so we're sending to user1 at gmail.com. Hello user1. Okay, hi user1. Okay, let's since we're in simulation mode, once I hit enter, the packet's gonna set. Okay, something is not right there. We're supposed to see one packet here, which is the app packet is missing here. But anyways, let's simulate and see, because we need, this is a DNS query packet, but we needed an app packet, which is basically going to go first to find out if there's a DNS server before this one follows. But I don't see the app packet for some reason. So let's just simulate this one and see how it goes. So it goes here to query the DNS, the router. Okay. So let's see if it finds a DNS server here. Okay, finds it. That's good. That's good. Okay, DNS server. Okay, it's gonna come back to him and say he found the DNS server. So yeah, now it says found the DNS. Now we're gonna see the TCP session starting. Okay, all right. So I think everything is good. Everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Let's just what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the simulation, because remember this is packet tracer, so sometimes it doesn't behave the way it has to behave, and in real life. So sometimes things may not work, but in reality the configurations are good. So I'm going to go in here and check the status of the email we sent. Okay, you see, send successful. Okay, so which means the email went through, and to be sure it actually went through, we go into this other PC and check receive. If it received any email, we'll go to receive. You can see here. What is it saying here? Okay, what is it saying here? Let's go in there again. Receive. Yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem, but that problem doesn't come from the server. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to double check what's the issue. But I know the configuration is set up right, and I believe very strongly that maybe when I was setting up this one, the PCs, I didn't set up the right way. So I'm going to double check that, and probably before the next lesson, I'm going to start with that one just to clear that one out. So guys, the main thing today was to make sure our DHCP is working. So DHCP is able to provision all these PCs with IP addresses. We didn't test the FTP, but that one is easy. To test the FTP, we're just going to maybe this one. Open up the command prompt, and this is how we test the FTP. If I say FTP, and I give the FTP IP address. FTP IP address is 192.168.1.5. Let's say enter. It's going to ask for username. Okay, it's going to prompt me for username. Let me take one of the users that we have. So let's say user 1. Okay, that was one of the users we used, and the password was Cisco123. Okay, so FTP is working. I tested just for one user. We don't need to test for the other users. So just to say FTP is working, and we're good to go with this lab. Okay. I didn't want to make it very long, but unfortunately it has to be long today because of the various steps and processes that we have to go through. So thanks very much, guys, for following me on these labs. And if you didn't watch the previous labs, you need to watch them because they are kind of like introduction to the where we are right now. And so if the labs are not connected, I'll always let you know, but this lab is actually related to the previous lab I did. So thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one.